It's not pink tainted glasses. It's enlightenment, to love unconditionally and be compassionate. Here's our first story. And before we begin, I like to share a little bit about why enlightenment, this lovely one, it's a vibration, but it's also a state of consciousness. And it's accessible to a person who has that secure attachment, because you have intimacy with all of the sensations in your body. You have a 3-year-old whole heart, because those first 3 years of life were all implicit memory. The part about how our brain gets to function when it's integrated, so all hands on deck, left and right mode, chit chatter, but also the sensation stuff, emotions, the unknown, all nonverbal, all hands on deck, default mode network down-regulated, and so we're in our social engagement system. That's the ventral vagal nervous system. That's our optimized human being social engagement system. So all of this information is from my trauma-informed courses. There's so many of them. Reach out, I can list them. But the Daniel Siegel on interpersonal neurobiology is where I know about how, not the glasses, how my brain works when it's integrated and how it becomes a conduit. And also as a mystic, that's where channeling, amazing. So the stories, though, they're going to be like the human 101 stories, because that's the best part of being a 5D mystic, because 4D is busy with their spiritual warfare and separation consciousness. In fact, they believe in devils and demons and all of that energy, which is in a sphere of shared consciousness and imagination land. And it's not just imagination land, because I know how it is to live experiences, but as we've been shown, thank you, Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist, as he builds empirical data, proving it through research, not mine. I have no idea, but I know that epilepsy is found. You don't give a goat's blood to the deities and gods, because epilepsy has nothing to do with demonic possession. Well, the same thing goes for when people have had nightmares and demonic possession. No demon, there's a fear receptor that apparently breaks. They're still looking into it. So if you want to be like the flat earthers and believe in something that is not true, go for it. 5D mystics know scientific methodology accompanies what the ancients would say, but it also proves the stuff that isn't true. So again, no demon possessing. What is proven is the first 18 months of your life. Very important. Your implicit memory stuff that comes up. So if you lose that restored embodied self, which is what happens when there's a rupture, so when you don't get consistent contingent communication, so there's an attachment wound in or more, and then there's trauma memory. Here's where Patrick McNamara, again, when he explains how the brain works and how in our REM sleep, the REM has this property that it's trying to get your brain to be healed. So for trauma memory to move into long-term memory. Long story short, I don't want to make it about psychoeducation, but that's why. Nope, no pink tainted glasses, enlightenment. Oh, and neuroscience also shows selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, and richness, which is really great when you actually experience it. So ecstasy in your body. And this enlightenment soul age group is accessible to any human being who puts their mind into healing if they have childhood trauma and neglect, emotional neglect, traumatic neglect. There's a lot of great mental health experts that can tell you all about it and help you. Meantime, let's move to the 3-year-old whole heart. Raise your hand. I raise my hand. Okay, so why do I have stories for you about enlightenment and not pink tainted glasses? Because I do. Thanks to the trauma-informed stuff, I'm like, wow, I'm only a differentiated self. Basically, I know how to say, here are my thoughts and here are my emotions, and no, society and peers, you don't have to agree. My emotions are going to be A-okay. And no stereotypes. I don't believe in any of them because I'm not going to assume to know anything about you. In fact, I'll ask stupid questions. So here's where it's really awesome to be the full 3-year-old self in adult. I'm 43. Okay, so here's the story. I got 6 minutes. Okay, so this is a hilarious one. It's only one of the few that I probably will share, but we'll keep talking about how it's not pink tainted glasses and enlightenment in other ways once I'm done with the stories. Maybe I'll make up some stories. I don't know, but this one's a true story. Okay, so I was 26 or 27. One of those, 2006 or 2007, and I was going out clubbing with friends of mine, one of my girlfriends, and it was her and I, and we ended up meeting 2 people, 2 boys, men, I should call them men, but, you know, to me, a actual man, like an actual woman and an actual human being, is a person who actually knows how to be their whole 3-year-old heart, because they have compassion. So they know how to be a Zen master, which means they're a securely attached person. So that means they know how to have a conversation with me and look me in the eye, have healthy self-worth, so they're not superior in fear. Until I meet that, I'm going to say I'm meeting a person. They probably have a lot of other stuff going on, and it's none of my business. So handling a person with their charges, with their projection, their unfinished business from their household in their first years of life, because nobody seems to care about becoming a full-blown grown-up emotional human. And I say nobody because I haven't met people who are like, wow, it's so awesome to be a quantumist and to be able and handle human life from this place of lightness. No, they're all like human suffering, drama. It's like, no, but wait a minute, your body, it can be in your ventrovagal state. It's yours, mammalian heritage. Okay, so long story short, we're going out. We basically meet these two people who are organizers of dance nights. These two people had a routine. And if you're a smart human being, you can notice things. But when you're smart, not with the malicious stuff. Again, no devil, no evil. Anything evil needs a good trauma therapist and more, and a long journey on that. So there's a plane. Yes, it's in the mind's eye of all of us. I'm a mystic again, so I definitely know that plane. And there's, yes, people who are in need of help, is what I'm going to, again, repeat. Their first 18 months of life, the last 3 months in their mother's womb, I don't know. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I hope that they can find good trauma therapists and go on that journey and find their compassion, because it's really nice when you can be intimate with the 3-year-old that is you and be in the restorative embodied self. So I'm completely engaging and having fun, but I did notice the pattern of these two males who basically would pick a brunette and a blonde. And my friend and I, of course, brunette and blonde. I say of course because the story's going to get somewhere soon. And I had no interest whatsoever in the male that usually gets the brunette. What I noticed was when we'd go clubbing, there were these twos, brunette and blonde, and they were literally pushing each other around. And I'm 27, and I'm like, are they teenagers? Or is this like a movie? Because seriously, how old do you have to be? Not to mention, let me back up, the two males had girlfriends. They were not in polyamorous relationships. No, they were officially in monogamous relationships, and they were cheating on their girlfriends equally. I didn't know any of the girlfriends. Oh no, I did meet one of them, and they were actually having spat about stuff eventually. Luckily, she broke up with him, and that's because he would consistently just lie instead of say, hey, let's do polyamory because I like to, fuck around. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm uninterested in this male, but I'm nice, I'm friendly, I'm chit-chatting. I love making friends. In fact, I have a buttload of stories like this. So I and this male would exchange notes. I think it was Messenger at the time, so we would have nice conversations. He's very intellectual. And I knew what was going on with these other women, and it didn't really bother me, of course, but what I didn't know is that he thought I was into him. And this is what I found out eventually. So here's the story in my last 2 minutes. We're out clubbing. It's one of the nights. I find that a woman who's a brunette is stepping on my foot and pushes me. I almost fall over. I'm 4'9". You can't tell? Okay, this woman literally is on me, and I'm like, what the heck? So I ignore it, as I always do, because I knew what was going on, and I figured she either got jealous or maybe it was an accident. I didn't care. I come to find out later on, because I become good friends with this woman, the brunette and the blonde. So these were two chicks who were both enamored, one with the other one. So this woman tells me we're at a beach, and she's like, that night, you remember the night we met and I threw myself basically on you? It's like, yes, I remember that. She said, well, what happened was that he told me, he whispered in my ear, you're hugging me and making Maria jealous. And I laughed in my friend's face, and I said, oh my God, he's so egoic. Seriously, what the fuck? I had no interest in him whatsoever, but this explains why he stopped talking to me at a certain point. Because as we were becoming friends, I thought, all of a sudden I found that this person was completely ignoring me. People use the word ghosting. I just found from one day to the next, we were having intellectual, interesting conversations to not being responded to. And I didn't think twice about it. So when my girlfriend came to me and said this thing, I'm like, okay, now I know everything. And then I'm thinking, that's really arrogant. I'm being friendly. You actually thought that I was into. Oh, and you went and told a person that liked you that they're going to make you jealous, and got this person basically in a mood. And so long story short, it's not pink tainted glasses when you actually don't assume anything, but it is secure attachment and a lot more. And some people, they just like to be teenagers in movies like Mean Girls, but in real life. And there's your story, and hopefully you'll have a good laugh. And I'll try these out again in the future. If you have questions, let me know. Have a great day.